Hello everybody, video here for today. This is the No Cap Recap. Curse Folk Island Season 11, Episode 24, called Harry's Situation, aired April 23rd, 2024. If you missed my recaps of previous episodes, there's a link in the upper right. Let's get into it. Do. Previously, on the Curse of Oak Island, people have been looking for an incredible treasure for 229 years. Like borehole Bravo 1 never happened, choice drilling is relocated to C.5N-14.75, right below the west side of the inner memorial wall that surrounds the garden shaft. The core sample just put on the table is from 113 to 137 feet and contains the same sandy silt they encountered in the garden shaft. Being that far down means they likely did not hit a 7-foot void at 55 feet like they did in a very close borehole the prior season, since it is not mentioned. Marty takes a closer look at a clump. And then we see exactly where they're drilling, right where the vertical part of the drill rig is as Marty departs the money pit area. The field trip contingent has reassembled at the Viking Ship Museum in Roskilde, Denmark. We see some examples inside, and the museum curator says that at first ships were rowed, and then about 750 AD they added sails enabling far travel, such as to North America. The group then goes outside to see ships in the water. The shipbuilder shows how the decking can be pulled up to put in cargo, and this particular vessel could hold 20 tons. He says this rebuilt one was originally built in about 1060 AD, and that this type would still be used in the 1200s when Doug tells him about all of the dating from that time period on Oak Island. Narrator Robert Clotworthy reminds that in 2020, the team found a piece of wood in the swamp that they suspected was part of a ship's railing that carbon dated 660 to 770 AD. Doug spots this piece that is similar. Back in the Oak Island lab, Emma has tested the clay and soil from the two structures on Lot 5. The further inland feature 2 sample was a match for shallow money pit samples. And the closer to the shore feature 1 sample was a match for deeper money pit samples at 118 feet. Jack asks a very good question, which is, how do you explain that in a feature that was covered over before the money pit was discovered in 1795? Peter and Corin Mall have other things to attend to, but Rick, Alex, Doug, and Emilio continue field tripping to Reykjavik, Iceland at the Arne Magnusson Institute. Emilio has suggested they visit to examine some Latin and Norse manuscripts written between the 11 and 1200s that included astronomy and sacred geometry, such as this reference to Arcturus, which Professor Gaspani tagged as being the primary alignment star in creating Nolan's Cross on Oak Island. Doug spots the ribbon symbol close to a Templar cross, highlighted here. That is on the copper artifact found in Season 9 by Gary and Jack on Lot 8, fairly close to Nolan's Cross. The expert they consulted at the time even said the Vikings were the possible origin. There's the ribbon and the cross zoomed in. And the ribbon in the manuscript and on the artifact side by side. And finally, a shot of the open book as a transition. In Halifax, Charles and Jack return to St. Mary's to have the hair in the conglomerate scanning electron microscoped. In the previous episode, the team had the Cone E boulder lifted so they could search underneath. In addition to leaves and other material for carbon dating, Marty grabbed a rock that felt different than the others. Only later was it found out that it had a hair embedded in it. Dr. Brousseau determines there are multiple hairs in it and says they don't look human, more animal. DNA testing will be next. The field trip continues at the National Museum of Iceland to see these Roman coins. The curator believes they were brought to Iceland by Norse settlers that arrived in the 8 to 900s after being acquired in the British Isles. One was found in a known Viking Age farmstead. They were minted in the 300s. The ones found on Lot 5 of Oak Island were minted in the 400s. Speaking of Lot 5, Helen and Fiona are excavating Feature 2. When Fiona finds this piece of lead that is faceted, that they suspect is a measuring weight. In 2020, the team unearthed this trade weight. In southern Iceland, the field trippers visit this man-made cave originally carved around 800 AD by a Christian monastic order from Ireland. In 874, the area was conquered by Vikings, who settled the area through the 1200s. I see this carved cross, which mentions that the head is bent the right way toward the longer arm. I've seen this in 4 locations: a man-made cave system in Italy, on the walls of Dome Prison in France, where Templars were kept following their excommunication. 2 weeks later, when Gary and Rick found the lead cross in Smith's Cove, and now in southern Iceland. Back on Oak Island, Rick, Alex, and Doug join other members of the team in the war room, and Rick says he believes that Nolan's cross is a map to the treasure. In the ending narration, something that you don't like to see because it's one more reminder the season is almost over: snow blowing through the trees to the right of the northern part of the swamp. Next time on an all-new The Curse of Oak Island, Season 11, Episode 25, the season finale, called Worth the Wait. The episode synopsis reads as follows. As winter descends on Oak Island and clues continue to be uncovered, the Fellowship makes a final bold effort to find the treasure before operations cease for the winter. There is no preview to that, at least not so far as I'm recording this, but there is a sneak peek of it, some Money Pit footage, and that, of course, you can see in my Oak Island playlist in the upper right, along with all the other previews for the rest previous episodes this season. I'll continue recapping Season 11 late Tuesday nights for one more episode, and also a drilling down episode on May 7th, as well as any other off-season shows that they do, as well as continue to do retro recaps of Seasons 6 through 8, Seasons 1 through 5, 9, 10, and the aired episodes in Season 11 are already done and are in that same Oak Island playlist. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment.